Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi Shrali Sadri, Vayassali Amri Walu Lugdata Milisani Fawqali Rabbi Zadilma. How is everyone? Hope that you all are well, enjoying your learning. Okay, today we are here to solve one more paper, paper 1, Computer Systems, Computer Science, that is 047811, May, June 2025. The duration of the paper is 1 hour 45 minutes. You have to answer all the question paper, no additional materials are needed. Instructions, as we all know, but still, you have to answer all the questions, use a black or dark blue pen. You may use an HB pencil for drawing the diagrams. You have to write your name, center number, and candidate number in the given boxes. Write your answer to the in the given space. Do not use an erasable pen or correction fluid. Do not write on any barcodes. Calculators are not allowed at all in the paper. Paper is of 75 marks. The marks of each question or part questions are given in brackets. There is no mark awarded in case of using the brand names. So please refrain from using the brand names. Now, question number 1. The size of the file can be measured using different data storage units. Tick one box to show the smallest data storage unit. The smallest data storage unit. So which is the right answer? Okay, we have the options of byte, KB byte, or nibble. The smallest data storage unit is a nibble, correct? Now, moving to the second part, part B, state how many tebibytes are equal to 2 pebibytes. So when you do the calculations, how many tebibytes are equal to 2 pebibytes? So 2048. You simply write the answer after showing the working space, because you know 1 pebibyte means 1024 pebibytes, so tebibytes. So 2 pebibytes means 1024 into 2, that makes it 2048 tebibytes. So just remember, this is what you have already learned, but still if you have any query, then you can watch the video that is available on the channel regarding the conversion from one unit to another. Moving to the next part. Part C. The size of a file needs to be reduced. Give the name of the process that is used to reduce the size of a file. That is data compression, 1 mark. One reason the size of a file may need reducing is so that it has a shorter transmission time. Give one another reason why the size of a file may need reducing. Now, just be clear. One very important thing that you need to see here is the question is already dealing with the reason. One is give the name of the process, data compression. Now, one is mentioned that shorter transmission. So shorter transmission is already mentioned. They are asking, give one other reason. Be clear, one other reason. So for that, what will you write? If the student has not paid attention to these details and he mentioned the shorter transmission time, then that will be a problem. That's why you can see less bandwidth is required to transmit the file. Less storage space is needed to store the file, to meet email's file size limit, because sometimes if the file size is bigger and the email has a certain limit, then you will not be allowed to use less data allowance. So these are a few of the mentioned values that you can see for yourself, and be clear that this is how you will be able to score your marks. Question number 2. A clothes store has a ticket system to allow customers to speak to a personal shopper. The ticket displays a ticket number in hexadecimal, for example, 11B or 11B exactly. Now it is not 11, it is 11B. Thank you, Ali, for pinpointing. The ticket system has an output device that creates a paper ticket, right? Identify an appropriate output device to produce the paper ticket. Now, for producing the paper ticket, you can see producing the paper ticket means definitely here I need to give it to the end user or to the person. And for that, the right choice is a printer. No other one, just one option, and that is the printer. Now, part B, each ticket number is stored as a binary number in the ticket machine. 2 ticket numbers are 14B and 97A. Convert the 2 ticket numbers from hexadecimal to binary. Now, it is such an important thing. You need to be cautious about it. Hexadecimal to binary conversion means that each value will be converted into a combination of 4 bits or a nibble. So what you obtain for 1, as you can see, we wrote it in the working space 14B. And if you want, you can mention this 1248 also, 1248 and 1248 for the nibble values. The binary or the nibble value for 1 is starting from the left-hand side, 0001. The value for 4, as you can see, 0100, and the value for B, which is 11, is the value for 8, 2 and 1 are turned on, and the value for 4 is off. In this manner, your answer, final answer for 14B will be, you start writing from this side, 0001, that is for 1. Then you have the value for 4, that is 0100, and then you have the value for B, that is 1011. In this manner, you are able to score a mark. Next question, 97A, again the same. You are going to write the binary for 9, that is 1001. You will write the binary for 7, that is 0111. And you will write the binary for A, that is 1010 for 10. And in this manner, once you are done with this, you write the final value in this and you are able to score 2 out of 2. And that is so simple. Now, give 2 reasons why the ticket number is displayed as hexadecimal instead of binary. So again, they're asking you the reason. Easier or quicker to for the customer to understand or read the number or remember also. I mean, again, takes up less space on the ticket and it is a shorter representation. Be clear, when it comes to a comparison between hexadecimal and binary, we do not mention that it is going to consume lesser storage space on the drive. Please be clear. This is what a student is normally making a mistake of, and takes less space, takes up less space on the ticket, or it's a shorter representation. That is going to give you 2 out of 2, and definitely it's not a difficult thing at all, and the marks are yours. The ticket number could also be represented as denary. Now this is my conversion that needs to be done here. You can see now I am asked to convert from hexadecimal to denary, and this was just this was the space that was given to me, one line, and just for your sake I've done it for you, so you're never going to make a mistake. It's a hex value to be converted to denary, so we can do it this way. I mean, again, we remember that we have done it exactly. So by the way, let me tell you, this is one more method that we have learned, and the method is, if I'm asked to convert a hex value to denary, what do we do is we first of all convert a hexadecimal. This is what you can remember that also. We are going to convert hexadecimal to the, we are going to convert hexadecimal to its equivalent binary first. And then what we do later is we are going to convert the binary value to its equivalent denary value. So this is perfectly okay. You do it with any of the 2 methods, the answer will remain the same, so you don't have to worry at all. You have done it this way, perfectly okay. But I've done it this way also because this is what we have learned earlier. So it's perfectly okay. You do it this way, you do it this way. In both of the cases, the answer will remain the same. Fine. So this is what is done here for you. You can understand that this is what is simply the method that we have learned to convert a hexadecimal number to its equivalent denary value. Now let's see. 0 into 256 plus 2 into 16 plus 12 into 1. So what you can do is you can put 3 brackets and write the values for each value, like 1, 16 and 256. Then you multiply by the value that are present in the question, like 0 here, multiply 256 by 0, then 2 is here, then multiply 2 by 16, and after this 12 into 1, because this is C and we know C means 12, and this is going to be your final answer. So simple. After that, you simply do the calculations and you say 32 plus 12 is 44, because 0 into 256 is a 0, 16 times 2 is 32, and 12 times 1 is 12. So 32 plus 12 will give you 44, and this is your final answer. 10B, again be cautious, it's not 10, it's 10. This is because sometimes the students make this mistake. Again, the same process. We wrote 1, 16 and 256. We wrote the values, multiply by 1, multiply by 0, multiply by 11 for B, and then we got the answer for 256, multiply by 1 as 256. 0 times 16 is a 0. There's no need to write it. And 11 times 1 is 11. And we got 256 plus 11. And my final answer is 267. So in this manner, if you have done the proper calculations, then 2 marks are yours. And again, remember, calculations are easiest if you have actually paid attention to the values. Fine. I think this is very simple. We all know. Now, moving to the next thing, the next part. Convert the two denary numbers into hexadecimal. Now, this is your denary number, and you have to convert this denary number to its equivalent hex value. Now, you can see in this paper, they have actually tried to handle a number of conversions which are easy to score if you have actually remembered the sequence to follow. Now, this is my denary number, 109. Now, be clear, it's not 109, it's 109. And the next one is 415. Again, for this, working space is given to me. And since 109 is lesser than 255, it means I only need a byte. And 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. And then I made the binary for 109. That means 64 and 32. And that makes 96. And then we are left with 106, 7, 8, 9, 13. So this is the binary for 13, or you can say it is the binary for D. And this is how, if you have done it accurately, then you can simply convert this into 6, this into D, and you wrote the final answer here, and marks are yours. Okay? Now this is so simple. If you have understood everything, then marks are easy to score. Now moving to the next part, that is 415. Do not get confused. Just remember, 255 is the capacity of your byte. If a value is beyond this, you simply do the values further, and that is where 256 added. And what we did, we simply turned on all those bits which are adding up to give you 415. And what we got, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, and then we got 1, 1, 1, 1. So this is what you know is the value for F. That is what is written here, 4 bits turned on, that is value for F. And then we have 1001, that is 9. And lastly, this one, nothing else is there. So if you want, you can add zeros also. But you simply wrote 19F. This is value for 1. This is the value for 9. And this is the value for F. And in this manner, again, marks are yours. You will be able to score the marks very easily. I hope that there's no query. We have done the conversions. Any query? Or should we move? Okay, now, great. Question number 3. An image is converted to binary to be represented by a computer. Complete the table with the missing terms and definitions about representing an image. Now, there are a few, in this table, a few terms are missing or a few definitions are missing. So you can see this is the smallest component of an image, and we know it's a pixel. Now, the next one is resolution. And what we can mention, the number of pixels high by the number of pixels wide, or the number of pixels in an image. So if a child has written any of these answers, so he will be actually have answered accurately for the term resolution. Now, another term that is given to me is this is the number of bits used to create each color in an image. And this is what you know is a color depth. Maybe they can accept bit depth also, Ali. But remember, the better thing is bit depth is dealing with the sound sample. So that is better. If you talk about the color, I will suggest you that go with the term color depth. Now, another definition. This is additional data that is stored with an image that can provide information such as the time and date the image was taken. Now, just an example. And this is actually the information that is held, that is stored in a file header, or you can simply say metadata. That's perfectly okay. Metadata, if a student wrote file header, then all these both options are correct, and you will be able to score 4 out of 4 easily. Question number 4. A restaurant has an electronic ordering system. The system allows customers to select the food they want to order. The data for the order is transmitted across their network to a computer in the restaurant kitchen. The data is sent using serial full duplex data transmission. Now, let's see what we need to concentrate. The first thing is I am asked to talk about the serial, and then what I need to concentrate on is the full duplex term. So this is what we need to be very cautious about. The two things I hope that we remember, but still a little bit of the revision is needed for that. Now, full duplex. Now, give two reasons why serial full duplex is a suitable data transmission method for the data. Now, this is your thing that is being asked in the paper, that you have to write that why. Why is this? Give two reasons. Now, this is my option given to me. I have to give two reasons for that. Now, moving to the next one. Answer. Two from, now you need to see, you have to give two points. One for the choice of serial transmission, and second one for the choice of full duplex transmission. So what can you write for serial? Serial is suitable as data may be traveling a long distance, maybe over 5 meters. Serial is suitable to make sure that the bits are not skewed, or they are arriving in the right order the way they were transmitted. That can also be written by a student. Serial is suitable as there is less chance of errors. That is also suitable. Serial has sufficient transmission speed as not much data is being sent. That is also a right answer. So now please be clear. You have to mention with respect to the transmission, and for that, the right options as there are mentioned will be the best answers. Moving to why full duplex, it's suitable as data needs to go between customer and kitchen computer, or data needs to go in both directions, or so the notification of errors can be sent back to the customer. Now you need to see full duplex means both ways and simultaneous. And first of all, you need to analyze that why. And for that, you need to recall your learning. And full duplex is both ways and simultaneous. So this is going to be the best answers to be written in this question. I hope that that is very clear, very simple to comprehend, and we are done with our work. Now, the next part. Give one improvement that would be made to the data transmission if parallel transmission is used instead of serial transmission. Now they're asking about the comparison. Why? Is there any other suitable method, like rather than going for serial, is parallel a good option? So you need to talk about improvement. Definitely the data may be transmitted faster. That is the biggest advantage of your parallel transmission. 1 mark is yours then. Now, another one, part B. A checksum is used to check the data for errors after transmission. Describe the process of checksum error detection method. And for that, you can recall whatever we have learned, the methods. Checksum calculated on the sender's end. Then the value, the data packet along with the checksum is sent to the receiver, and the checksum is recalculated on the receiver's end. The two checksum values are matched. If they are equal, it means there is no error in transmission. But in case there is some error, then that particular packet is supposed to be resent. And in this manner, if you have actually mentioned these points in a sequence, 5 marks are going to be yours. And you can see checksum is calculated from the data using an algorithm, any algorithm that we can mention. The checksum value is transmitted along with the data. The checksum value is recalculated after transmission by the receiver. If the checksum values do not match, the error is detected, and if the checksum values are matching, no error is detected. And in case there is some error, then a request is sent to resend the data. And in this manner, if you have written the values in a sequence, you have written your answer in a sequence, then definitely 5 marks are yours. And these are just in the point form. You have to describe it. Please be clear. Now, second part of part B. Identify one other error detection method that could be used to check for errors in the data. Now, you can go for parity byte or echo check. Now, part C. Part C. A customer can also order food from home using the internet. The data for their order is broken down into packets and transmitted across the internet to the computer in the restaurant kitchen. Tick one box to show which item would not be included in the packet header. Would not be included. Now, just be clear. This is simply asking you which would not be included in the packet header. So what do you think? Destination address, originator's address, packet number, and payload. So out of these, definitely this is their originator's address as a part of the packet header. Packet number is definitely there. So only payload isn't there. And if you recall, payload is actually another part of the packet. Like we have learned packet header, payload, and the trailer. So these are the three components of the packet. So definitely payload isn't a part of your packet header. Now, next part of the question. The packets of data may need to be reordered when they arrive at the computer in the restaurant kitchen. Explain why the packets of data may need to be reordered. Now you can see they are arriving out of order. So any two, because it's a 2-mark question, the packets arrive in the wrong order. As we know, in packet switching it happens. Each packet could take a different route. Some packets may take longer than others to be transmitted. Some packets may not arrive, or they can be corrupted and need to be requested again. So if you have mentioned any of these two valid points, then 2 marks will be awarded to you. Be clear, your answers should be well explained. Now, question number 5. Data is processed by the CPU in a computer that has a von Neumann architecture. Complete the table with the missing terms and definitions about processing data. Now you can see CIR is given to me and I'm asked to explain what is CIR and stores the instruction that is being decoded or executed. CIR, current instruction register, as the name implies, is storing the instruction that is being decoded or executed. Now, the next term is to be written for the definition. As you can see, this is a processing unit within the CPU that can fetch, decode, and execute instructions, and that is a core. The third one is this is the list of all the commands that can be processed by the CPU. That is an instruction set. That is what we have already learned. Now we are asked to explain cache and accumulator. So cache is storing frequently used data, or it is storing frequently used instructions, and accumulator is storing the result of calculations, interim calculations. So when calculations are being performed by ALU, so the results of the calculations are held in accumulator before they are moved on to the appropriate register. So in this manner, if you have written the right definition or you have identified the right term, then 5 marks are yours. And please be very careful, because this topic is a little tricky. Try to understand it, try to have a very good grip of this topic, so you are able to score your marks. Fine. Now identify now part B. Identify the component in the CPU that is responsible for decoding an instruction. That is either control unit or CU, and 1 mark is yours. Part C. Explain how the clock speed can affect the performance of a CPU. Now they're asking about the, I hope that we remember there are a few factors that we have learned. By the way, what are the factors that are affecting the performance of a CPU apart from clock speed? Okay, wonderful, Ali. The width of the bus. And by the width, which buses width can be increased? Okay, definitely the address bus and the data bus. There is no need to increase the width of the control bus. 8 bits are enough. So we are just revising the concept that we have learned. The width of the data bus and control bus can be increased to improve the system performance. We have talked about the core. We have talked about the cache. Cache is also important. And another one is the clock speed. So you can see on each clock pulse, an FDE cycle, or fetch, decode, execute cycle, is performed. The clock speed is the number of FDE cycles performed in a second, or the clock speed is the number of times the clock pulses per second or per unit of time. If clock speed is increased, more FDE cycles can be performed in a second. If clock speed is decreased, then fewer FDE cycles can be performed in the second. If clock speed is increased, it can improve the performance of the CPU. If clock speed is decreased, it is going to be decreasing the performance of the CPU. So in this manner, you can actually score 3 marks if you have written the points appropriately in a sequence. Again, clock speed, effects of clock speed, talking about the effect. They didn't say effect Affect means it can be a positive or a negative. Be cautious. Now, question number 6. Data can be encrypted using, data can be encrypted using asymmetric encryption. Complete the paragraph about asymmetric encryption. Now, my question is dealing with asymmetric encryption. So now be clear, we have to talk about all the terminologies should be linked with your asymmetric. Use the terms from the list, and you can see, let's see what the terms are. Algorithm, binary, ciphertext, compression, error, hardware, hexadecimal, meaningless, plain text, private, public, readable, transmission, and unreadable. Now, there are a few terminologies that are here, and we need to very quickly go through the whole paragraph and see what is going to be the right answer. Data is encrypted using an encryption key. This is a type of blank that scrambles the blank and turns it into another blank. This makes the data another blank here. A dash key is used to encrypt the data. The key cannot be used to decrypt. A dash key is used to decrypt the data. Now, just be clear, it is going to be encryption done in asymmetric with a different key, and decryption is done with a different key. I hope that we all remember. Any device is able to request the blank key, but only your device knows the blank key. It is asymmetric encryption, and these are the terms that are available. And let's see how quickly we are able to fill in the blanks with the appropriate words, and then we will discuss our answers. It's an 8-mark question. Giving you a minute to solve, and we will discuss. Doing it? Okay, now let's see. Data is encrypted using an encryption key. This is a type of algorithm that scrambles the plain text and turns into a ciphertext. This makes the data meaningless. A public key or a private key is used to encrypt the data. This key cannot be used to decrypt the data. A private or public key is used to decrypt the data. Any device is able to request the public key, but only your device knows the private key. Now, be very careful. There are a few terms that might be used, as you can see, but be very careful with your answers. Now, data can also be encrypted using symmetric encryption. Give one reason why a person would use asymmetric encryption instead of symmetric encryption. So you know, why is asymmetric go for this? 1-mark question. The process is more secure. Do not need to worry about the key exchange. Like for this, if you remember, symmetric is having a problem of key distribution, and this problem is not there in symmetric encryption. Now, moving to question number 7. A student's computer has primary storage. One example of primary storage is random access memory or RAM. Identify one other example of primary storage, that is ROM or read-only memory or cache. Explain why RAM is an example of primary storage and not secondary storage. Now, you know, why primary? Because it is accessed directly by the CPU, whereas secondary storage is not accessed directly by the CPU. And another one is all secondary storage are non-volatile, as we know. And when you talk about RAM, it's actually a volatile storage. So if you have actually talked about the points with confidence, you've written a comparison properly, talking about why RAM is in the category of primary storage and not secondary storage, and you will be able to score 3 out of 3. Part C. The student is editing a large video file for a project, and during the process, the RAM becomes full. This makes the computer crash. Describe how virtual memory could be used in this process to stop the computer from crashing. So here it's a 3-mark question, and you know, we don't want the system to crash, so we make use of our virtual memory or VM. So here, VM or virtual memory can act as an extension to the RAM. Secondary storage is partitioned to create the virtual memory. This is what we actually know. There's a space created in my secondary storage or hard drive or even SSD to be available as VM. Pages can be transferred from the RAM to the virtual memory to stop the RAM getting full, or when the RAM is full. So if you have actually talked about any of these points, even in your own words, but you have explained it properly that why VM is essential, helpful to us, then you will be able to score 3 out of 3 very easily. The computer uses solid state flash memory storage. Give 2 features of solid state flash memory. See, this is what you can mention, the reasons that why we go for solid state. No moving parts. It uses semiconductor chip. It uses NAND or flip-flop technology. It uses cells and transistors that are laid out in a grid. It uses control gates and floating gates. Or you can mention stores data as electrical charges, and 2 marks are yours. Give 2 examples of solid state flash memory storage. 2 examples. If a student wrote SSD, maybe they'll accept that also. But USB flash memory, SD card, these are the best examples to be quoted for this answer. Question number 8. A robot is used to move parts in a factory. One characteristic of the robot is that it has mechanical structure. Give 1 other characteristic of a robot. Now, mechanical structure is mentioned to me. It means I have to be careful that I will be talking about any other one except for this term. So that is why you can go for electrical components. You can go for programmable. You can say it can move. It has some degree of movement, and marks are going to be yours. The robot has firmware. State what is meant by firmware. Now, you know very well, you know the definition. Permanent instructions or software that are programmed are stored in the ROM, or instructions or software that allow the hardware to be controlled or managed. That can also be a very good answer. Or instruction or software that provides the operating system with a platform to run on. But be clear, in all the answers, you can see instructions or software definitely is supposed to be a part. Otherwise, they may not give you mark at all. Now, part C. Interrupts are generated when the robot is operating in the factory. Give 2 examples of interrupts that may be generated when the robot is in operation. Now, if a user has input, that is one example, because interrupt is generated, or it has encountered an obstacle, or it has encountered an emergency stop, or a hardware error, or a software error, or maybe the battery is low, or maybe the component has overheated. 2 processes accessing the same location. So any 2 examples, think about it, and you will be able to recall the term interrupt itself. In this example, why interrupt is going to generate a problem, and 2 marks are going to be yours. Now, give 2 advantages to the workers in the factory of using robots to move the car parts. So simple. Now, it is advantages to the workers. Workers do not need to lift heavy machine. Workers are less likely to injure themselves. The workers do not need to be in any dangerous environment in the factory. They are free. The workers do not need to perform a boring or repetitive task such as moving the car parts. Workers can focus on having higher expertise skills, create new jobs for workers to maintain the robots. So now these are mundane tasks. Just moving the parts is a mundane task. It's difficult for the people. So why not handle it with a robot? So very simple, just understanding based question, and you can answer and you will be able to score the marks. The part E, the robots have the ability to automatically adapt their own processes. State the name of this ability described. Machine learning, such a simple answer, and marks are yours. Question number 9. Each employee in a finance company has a computer and electronic account. Each computer is an operating system. One function of the operating system is to manage memory. Describe the role of operating system in managing the memory. Now be very careful. We have studied it. Let's see how is the answer supposed to be framed for the role of OS in memory management. So you can see, to make sure memory is used efficiently, allocates or deallocates the memory to processes. Like once the process starts, some memory is allocated, and once the process stops, then that memory becomes available for some other task. That is allocating and deallocating. Checks that the device active processes have enough memory available. Definitely not enough, then do something with it, maybe move to the VM or whatever. Moves data to and from the memory or between memory and storage. It makes sure that two processes do not try and access the same memory location. Very important. Creates a memory partition, creates virtual memory, transmits pages between RAM and virtual memory. The way we talked about what is happening, the same is memory management. And by the way, just giving you a hint, we also talked about that we also have a memory management happening in our memory, and that's why no two things ever mix up. In our class, we only talk about computer science and no other stuff. So any of the 3 points explained properly, and you will be able to answer and score 3 marks. Just be cautious, and definitely, inshallah, you will be able to score. Now, part B. The finance company is concerned that a hacker may perform a brute force attack to gain access to an employee's account. Describe how the hacker would perform the brute force attack. So you know what the hacker is doing. He is guessing by finding out different combination of the passwords. So now it's a 2-mark question. Try to find out or guess a password by repeatedly entering different combinations of the passwords, and could use software to do it automatically. So any 2 points, points that we have described properly, and 2 marks are yours. Okay, yes, exactly. Thank you, Ali. We have talked about the word list also. So if you want, you can mention that also. That's perfectly okay. The use of the word list by the hacker so that he can try out different. And this is just mentioned here, like you could use software to do it automatically. This is the same thing that you are mentioning, the word list being tried, different options from the word list being tried, that is explained in this manner. Perfectly okay. If you're writing any answer that is fitting this sort of thing, then definitely they will be able to they will be giving you marks. No worries at all. Give 3 cybersecurity solutions that could be used to help prevent a brute force attack from being successful. Now, strong password. Now, very first thing is we should go for a password that is long, that should be containing a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols, not easily guessable. A student can say 2-step verification or 2-factor authentication. That is also correct. Biometric password is also a very good option. Limiting the number of login attempts. So if we limit the number of login attempts and the account is locked, then that is also a good option. So give 3 cybersecurity solutions is mentioned here, and marks are yours. Part C. The company uses a digital currency to purchase a new car. State what is meant by a digital currency. Now, a digital currency, what does it mean? A currency that only exists electronically or virtually. And part 2. The digital currency uses a process that involves a digital ledger. The ledger has time-stamped transactions that cannot be altered. Give the name of this process. That is blockchain. So in this manner, you have answered the question appropriately, having a little caution, and inshallah, marks are yours. Jazakallah khairan kaseera for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have liked the explanation. Subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned to get the latest updates of the videos or short that are uploaded frequently. Allah Hafiz, take very good care of yourselves and everyone in your family. May Allah bless you. May Allah help you. Allah Hafiz once again.